Hello, hello. Hey, Megan. Hey, Bill. Hey,
Hey,
Joseph. What's going
Hi.
on?
you hear me this time?
Oh, yeah, now I can hear you loud and clear. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Hey, thanks. Hopefully, you guys had a great holiday, stuffed your face, and brought in the New Year with loved ones. Let me let some folks in. Anybody got any good gifts besides FatCon checks?
I got a new pair of tires, or a new set of tires, rather.
Ooh,
Ooh.
go you. Look at Kennedy looking sharp as ever. How's it going, brother?
Going good.
Uh, how's it going, Anthony? Matt?
Going good, man.
You guys crushing those com checks in December? Yeah, you are. Yeah, I see Matt smiling like that means you got a fat check. Okay. Share the wealth, brother. Share the wealth. Let a few folks trickle in. Hey, what's going on, Lawrence? Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year. How's it going?
Hey, I'm alive and blessed. Alive and blessed. Thanks for asking.
Awesome.
Yeah. How'd it work out with the remember a couple of weeks back you were talking about that lady who was trying to jump ship with, well, not trying to jump ship, but she was going back and forth with the other company. How'd that work out for you?
Well, that's like an ongoing process. I'm always quoting stuff for her. Like she asked for something today. Sometimes it goes through, sometimes it doesn't. It's not, like I said, it's not her.
Yeah.
It's her boss who, has given me several referrals, but
Yeah.
they're just, she has her own way of doing stuff.
Hey, listen, sometimes it works out, but it seems like it's working out pretty well for you oftentimes with her. So hey, keep that gravy train chewing.
Yeah,
I'm mad
I
at it.
don't give it time anymore. I just quote it. If she wants it, then fine. Whatever, That's where I'm at with her. There's no sell with them. You just
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Give folks about 2 more minutes to trickle in, and then we kick things off. Yeah. Hey, Michael, if you could do us the honor of showing us your beautiful face. Here we go. Happy New Year, bro.
Happy New Year, brother. How are you?
Alive and blessed. Thanks for asking.
Good to know.
Yeah, sweet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure everybody's been on this call before. You guys know how it goes. Really structured around tonality. Maybe you have a part of your structure where you're like, you know what, I'm crushing it. But something about this part right here feels a little off. Let's get some feedback. This is where we workshop it. If you're lost or first time here, and you're looking for the objection call, that's with the handsome Irishman Bill on Wednesdays. Like, so anything objection related, you probably want to take it to that guy because he'll slap it right down, easy peasy. But yeah, other than that, as long as you like at the bottom of the screen, you see something that says reactions. As long as you hit that raised hand, so I make sure that I can get to you and not skip anybody, then yeah, this will be super easy. Bam. Oh, looks like Jews in the subway. And the man committed.
Yeah, I'm in the 7-Eleven.
Appreciate you, brother. Happy New Year. Anybody
Yeah.
want to thanks? Anybody want to kick things off? Any part of the structure that they want to get feedback with, or just any part of the something you're saying? You're like, I don't like how this sounds.
Yeah, I can
Hello?
go real quick.
Oh, Drew, go ahead, brother. Not
Yeah,
mad
so
at
actually,
it.
I just joined like 2 days ago. So still like going through the portal and everything, trying to like
Nice.
slowly adapt it to my my industry. I do door to door, and I do telecommunications, and so I've just been trying to like work on the door presence and not raising objections as soon as somebody sees me at the door. And so just past couple doors, I tried doing the like, can you help me out for a moment type of thing, and it worked on the first one actually. I tried that,
Nice.
but
Good job.
yeah, it got closed just a couple months ago. But the past two, I was raised with immediate objections, so I'm not sure what was happening there. I feel like it was the tonality thing, but I don't
Could
know if it
have
was
been.
the words or the tonality. So
Yeah, I think for you too, right? Just being so new, and one, kudos to you for actually, being one of those people that we're tired of like burning commission checks and not like not getting sales. And he actually just lost. Oh, there you go. Perfect. Yeah. But also give yourself grace, right? I say if you said 20 out of 25 people slammed doors in your face or you didn't get the sale, that's one thing. But 2 out of 3, um, it'd be too small of a sample size
yeah,
for, yeah, I'd say see what happens after 10, right? Because you're still learning it. But once you have more data, then you can start making changes. But 2 out of 3, especially knocking door to door while you're just starting out a new structure. Yeah, I wouldn't tell you to change anything just yet. Keep doing what you're doing.
okay, gotcha.
Sweet.
That makes sense.
Wow. You guys, for a tonality session, you guys sure don't talk a lot. You guys are quiet. Joseph, did you raise your hand just now?
Yes, I did. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to raise your hand physically. Hit
Hey, I
the
went to Catholic school. They beat it into me.
brother.
I'm real new to this, and I don't have a gig now. My experience in sales is, from a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But so I was watching one of Matt Ryder's videos, and he said he has a script that he wrote out that he can plug everything in.
Yeah.
And so would that be something you'd advise? It seems like it would be a logical thing that, like, if I could write up a script before I start looking for a gig, that way I have a lot of the even the tonality built into the script. Would that be the way to go?
Let me make sure I follow the question.
Sure.
You want to you're inquiring whether or not you should build out the script, and how new are you to NEPQ?
Oh, like a week and a half?
Yeah,
Yeah,
same
I mean,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I would just dive in, right? Dive in, and just immerse yourself in it
Yeah.
because not saying change anything just yet, but just keep going through the portal, show up to the trainings, look at Matt's videos, look at Jeremy's videos, because then you start to, okay. And the thing with NPQ that I recommend everyone do is like build on top of it, right? Build it into you. So as you start to actually like kind of like how Jude started off with just like getting past the gatekeeper, right?
Mhm.
Did something right because you got the sale,
Sweet.
right? So slowly do that, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then because 2 weeks in, if you try to build a script, you may not know what you're putting in certain places, and it may mess you up,
Mhm.
right? I
Okay.
say just immerse, and then take it from there.
Okay. Good advice.
Appreciate you, brother.
I'll do that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Megan.
Yes, sir. So I have been having I took your advice from the last session that I attended. It has changed my life. Really, the way that my calls are framed, I'm in more, I feel like I'm in control more of the call. And I don't feel like I'm pitching anything.
Nice.
The thing I'm struggling with right now is getting to that emotional point after I've gone through the discovery phase with my prospects. So I've been asking them, so this is an invitation only program, so and so. So if we do let you in, we help you achieve X, Y, and Z. What would that do for you? And so they'd tell me what that does for them. And then I'd say, okay, well, let's look at the flip side of that. Let's say everything stays the same a year from now. What does your life look like? And I get a lot of people who are saying, well, that's not going to happen. Nothing's going to stay the same because I'm not going to make it stay the same.
Okay.
And I know it's something that I'm doing because I'm literally getting the same answer over and over again.
Yeah, it them saying that isn't necessarily a bad thing in my opinion,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Because they're if they're saying that, and I'm just spitballing without hearing the conversations.
Mhm.
Um, they're saying that they're beginning that commitment to change.
They are, but then they don't buy.
Then that's a problem,
Yeah.
right? That's a problem. So, and how do you feel, right? Like, I'm using feeling um, very, very loosely because there's data and there's feelings, right? But like, how do you feel? Like, when are you tracking how many people aren't buying?
Mhm.
Perfect. And
Yes.
like, out of the conversations that you're having, how many people you say aren't buying? Like, you don't have to say the exact number, like percentage wise, that give you that.
That give
That's
me
saying,
that.
yeah.
So this has been happening over the past month. I had a 37% close rate last month, and I'd probably say about half the people that didn't buy said that. So I'd say about around 30 to 35%.
Mm, okay. Yeah. So then it'd be taking a step back, and if they don't buy, do you think it's tied back to uh something that you're either not asking in a certain tone, or maybe because if they're not buying with me spitballing,
Mhm.
then without hearing the call, it just feels like they might not have that sense of urgency to buy.
I see.
Yeah.
I think that could be a big part of it. It's yeah, I haven't been building it, but I do make it very clear that we literally have 10,000 people on a waiting list right now, and we can't accept everybody. So
now
we-
that
yeah.
now that may be more focused on you guys though. Like, what
I
does that
see.
mean to them? Right? Because like if you take a step back, right? Because when you were talking, you describing it, your tone was on point. I don't think it's really a tonal issue. It
Okay.
might just be a question issue, right?
Okay.
Because if you think about it in their mind, all right,
Mhm.
what does 10,000 people like on a wait list mean to them? Probably nothing, because it's like, well, that's not my wait list,
Right.
right? Where if it's more like if you focus on the flip side, like when you how do I put it? You know what? I'll take it through. I'll do it to you very, very fast on the solution awareness phase and then consequence. But focus. I want you to focus on my tone
Okay.
and how you feel.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
Yeah. And Megan, this is pretty much invite only, as you know. So if we were to invite you in, how do you see your life being maybe different than it is now?
Oh, my life would be completely transformed. I wouldn't
Oh,
I wouldn't
really?
have to worry about my finances. Yeah.
Oh, are you worrying about finances now?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm on the call. It's because I feel like I just I can't get my financial situation under control.
Hmm. And if you don't get it under control, what happens?
Well, I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I'm taking steps now to,
And has it gotten under control yet?
well, no, not yet, but what I'm implementing, it should work in in the upcoming months and next year.
What should work?
So I've been budgeting more. I haven't been, buying takeout, and I've been paying a lot more down on my loans. So I've seen a little bit of improvement. So nothing's going to stay the same.
In a little bit of improvement, is that what you're looking for? Or would you like to see a drastic change in what's going on in your finances in your life?
Yeah. I want to see a drastic change.
Okay, but hold on though. What happens if you keep and pause? But do you see how I started?
Yeah.
And then like I did it that way on purpose, right? I know this is primarily around tonality. I wanted to show you how the first thing I said was more focused on kind of me, right? As
Mhm.
you know, we have a waiting list, um, but that goes in one ear out the other. So, but I ended that question with, suppose we did invite you in, how would your life be different than it is now? Now,
Mm.
you answered a specific way that was focused on you, and
Mm.
then that's when I just kept everything on that, right? But a lot of things you were saying though, when you're like, well, you know, things have been changing. I'm seeing some progress. In
Yeah.
my mind, that's a red flag,
Mm.
right? So like, I need to bring awareness to that. It's like, and are you looking for just some progress, or do you want just something to change drastically?
Mhm.
So I need to put thoughts in your mind that like you're not looking for these incremental changes, because what does that change for you? More or less, it's like, are you looking for a drastic change? Because based on what you told me, you mentioned that your finances are in a very bad place, so
Yeah.
you need a drastic change.
Right.
So it's like driving that urgency with certain questions.
Right. Yeah. I think you just hit the nail on the head there. I have not I've been going through the motions of asking those questions. I haven't been taking what they've been telling me and maybe, putting focus back on them. So
Yeah.
that might be it.
Yeah. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My boy Joel's in the house. It's not a tonality party without Joel. Happy New Year, brother.
Happy New Year to you guys. Happy New Year.
Yeah, appreciate you. Appreciate you. You guys could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate
Would have missed it for the room, buddy.
it. Yeah. Don't everybody raise their hand at once? Or do you guys want to do tonality role plays? Is everybody a little gun shy today?
I have one more question.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, since I am like door to door and body language plays a big part in that, how does tonality relate or transfer into body language?
Even if you're not door to door, body language plays a big part, right? Even if you're on the phone and they can't see you. You ever, anybody ever noticed like Jeremy using his hands from here to here? And it's like all of that plays a part, right? So if you're door to door, trying to remember, my first sales gig was actually a door to door, selling water filters, not water filters. It was Carico. It was like water purifier water purifiers and blenders. But I remember when I got to the door, I used to sell the old way, like the old school way. But for you, trying to think in my mind. I remember Jeremy told the story one time. He used to actually walk around with those construction vests that light up. So when he went to people's doors, they thought he was like a construction worker asking for certain things, but it would disengage them long enough to want to talk to them. So it's really just not coming off like visually, like one an a-hole or a salesperson.
Right. Okay.
Like, how do you normally start off your door presentations?
Yeah. So before I would try to be like really enthusiastic, like, "Hey, how are you?" Something like that. But now, since I've been getting into this, I'm trying to be a lot more low key, relaxed, and like
Yeah.
nonchalant.
Yeah.
I've been trying to like play the confused role. I'm still working on that act, but that's
Good.
like where I'm heading towards.
Good.
Yeah, breaking off of the enthusiasm and trying to be like way more flat and disassociated.
Yeah, no, good.
But,
No, you're on the right path. Keep doing that.
all right.
Keep doing that. There's somebody, Joseph Rollberry. If you watch the interview that Jeremy did with him, he's a door-to-door guy for solar. Does $1 million a year, door to door, just going door to door.
Right.
He sees a door, that's cash for him. $1 million a year. Yeah, watch the interview. Like I think it'll help you out a lot.
Got you. Yeah.
Sweet. Joel, the man with the golden hand. What's going on, brother?
Good. Two questions. First question is actually going towards what Megan just asked. When Megan, is it Megan or Megan? Sorry.
Megan.
Megan tried to say Megan while she was on mute. I saw you.
Perfect. So when you're saying at the end of the calls, people saying to you, "Yeah, well, I will do something about it," right? What I've started to say here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is also so it is important for you to do something about it. Then,
Yeah, no, that's something that Jeremy teaches too. Like, yeah, so it's important for you to do something about this. Then, okay, yeah. So it's like it doesn't like them saying that that, and context is important. It depends on how the call went. If they were just BS and all call and they give you that, um, more than likely they're probably not gonna buy. But if the call is structured in a certain way and you get to the end of the call and it just makes sense to you why they say that, then yeah, you can give them a little challenge. It's like, oh, so it's important for you to do something about this then. Okay. Right. Now, depending on, once again, their tone, if they've been very whimsical and very just flimsy and flighty the whole call, these like little things that you may want to pick up on. You're like, okay, like that's when I'll take a step back and ask them, okay, it's important for you to do something about this then. Okay. Yeah, but just humor me though. Like what happens if you don't? And now it's like I need to gauge based on how that conversation was going earlier, where they're at. Because if they've been flighty the whole time and they give me that answer, then for me, context comes in where it's like, oh, this is another flighty answer. They just don't want to, they don't want to explore the consequence of an action because it makes it real.
So then just on that, like after you go through that, when do you know when to use, because you don't have to do this, right? You can just stay where you are.
Yeah, you can say it too. Yeah, like,
Like,
'cause like that. That's like
Do
a.
you always say that, or depending on how the conversation goes?
I say depending on how the conversation goes, right? Because if you feel like they're being super flighty, then it's like, yeah, just yeah, because you don't have to do anything. You can stay exactly where you're at if you're happy, like in based on how the conversation was going earlier, if done correctly, then more than likely they should give you pushback. They're like, no, I'm not, I can't stay here because they just told you before, how bad it was. But if they come back and give you, I mean, I could just like, just like being, you're probably gonna have to put your dancing gloves on, because like, yeah, you're
Well,
gonna
that's the
be
thing,
objection
yeah,
handling.
that's what I got. Some people say, well, yeah, I could stay.
Yeah,
Are you willing?
yeah,
Some,
no, and that's something that I come back. You're saying all the answers, right? It's like, yeah, and are you willing to settle for that? And then that's when they feel that challenge because the you asking very skeptically and yeah, are you willing to settle for that? That's when you're like, no, that's what I'm talking to you. It's like, yeah, okay. You
yeah.
still probably have to
And
dance.
then what are a couple of good mirroring, let's say, statements where, or say questions where, because sometimes when I say, are you willing to settle for that? Sometimes it doesn't feel good coming out my mouth. Like, are
Yeah,
there any
yeah,
mirroring?
yeah. I could tell because when you did it just now, like, yeah, that didn't feel like you really you even wanted to ask that. All right. Like, yeah, for me, real simple. Yeah, and are you willing to settle for that? Like, I want that settle to sit there. So like, it's a little pause. Yeah, I mean, are you willing to settle for that? Like, so I don't want any connecting words next to settle. I want that. I want that like 1 to 2 second pause where that's just sitting there. Like, I'll do it again. And are you willing to settle for that? So it's like it's like a drop. It's like there's nothing by the word settle for like 2 seconds. Like that just sticks out. And a lot of people they feel challenged on that and they'll push back. No, okay, and I mean whose choice is it if you settle or not? It's my choice. Okay, so do you just go?
So let me try it. So are you willing to settle for that?
Yeah, no, like not, yeah, I wouldn't say, so are you, like, I want them to hear the R, so it's like a question. And are you willing to settle for that? Because I don't want to make a statement there and tell them that, so you're willing to settle for that, because that comes off like a combative challenge. But me asking it as a question, are you willing to settle for that? Now it comes off like a question, like I don't know, but I'm skeptical. And
Do you mind if I try one more time?
yeah, go ahead.
And are you willing to settle for that?
Yeah,
I need-
yeah.
I need to-
A little better, yeah, no, but like the pickup was better, right? It just let that settle, like become there, like, and are you willing to settle for that?
Mhm, mhm. Okay. And then just going on to the next bit, which again sometimes doesn't come out right, is like,
Yeah,
but like, whose choice is it if you just settle or not?
I like that
How
right there.
was that
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I like it, and I mean, whose choice is it if you settle or not, right?
It just sometimes I think, does it sound condescending?
And that's the thing. Uh, you kind of got to get out of your head on that one, because it's like you just got to say it, because if if you start thinking about if it's condescending, then that's when it becomes condescending, because you're not saying it normally anymore. You're like, are you willing to settle? Because you're thinking, you're not talking, all right? But
Mhm.
the more you just say it, it's just like, yeah, are you willing to settle for that? No, yeah, because I mean, whose decision is it if you settle or not? It was mine. Okay, so do you want to change the situation and start X, Y, and Z so that you could X, Y, Z, or would you rather just stay where you're at? So it's skeptical, but it's not confrontational. But like you're coming off genuinely confused, like, huh? Like, I mean, this doesn't make sense. But hey, is that what you want? And then if we follow the structure properly, a lot of times they're like, yeah, no, I got to. Okay, yeah, no, that okay, make sense. Just making sure. You had me kind of scared there. You know? Thought you were a settler. Nah, not me, bro. All right. High five, fat contracts all around.
Thank you, thank you.
I appreciate you, brother.
I can go for another question, but
Yeah, until somebody puts their hand up, Joel's is gonna go rapid fire.
I love mine, I love mine. So right at the bottom of the transition, right? Do you know when you say, and I think I remember you saying you feel a little bit stuck sometimes. When they give you the answer, do you ever say, because I've heard some people do it and I've never tried it. Do you ever say, and what's that doing to you?
Yeah, I've never I've never tried that during the presentation phase.
Okay.
Yeah, because like for me that would have been more of like a problem awareness question, or a consequence bridge question. And it's like in the presentation phase, I don't really want to, for me, and this isn't, it's not the end all be all, it's just me personally. For me, I don't want to introduce any new information from them,
Hmm.
because like I don't know where it's gonna go during that piece. And it's like in my mind, discovery phase is over. So if I start discovering new things, it's just adding extra things to the recipe that may not need to be there.
Yeah. Cool.
Make
No,
sense?
I just heard it today. I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like if whoever's using it, it works, they keep doing it, right? Because for me, it's like, yeah, I'm not, I'm not rolling that dice 'Cause I don't know what comes out from that. And then the cards that the house of cards that I built during the call might come tumbling down because I have a unknown thing just pop up now.
Fair enough. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. All right. Who you guys are so quiet, which is ironic because it's a tonality call. We're supposed to talk.
Okay. Can we talk about?
It can't just be Jude and Joel and Megan.
Can we talk about building rapport and pattern interrupt? Because
Okay.
I really don't know how to like act now in these first 10 to 15 seconds besides saying, "Hey, how are you?" Like, what's an
What do you mean?
NQ way to because I feel like everyone says, "Hey, how are you?" Right? That's what everybody in the world will say.
Yeah. And you were asking about pattern interrupting?
Pattern interrupt. So basically, after that, like say, "Hey, how are you?" Throw in an icebreaker like, "You look really comfortable," or "Did I set off your dog alarm?" Or something to get their mind off of the fact that there's a stranger in front of their door.
I don't know about you look really comfortable, but I might think that a whole of like, wait, what do you mean? Did I start your dog alarm? Oh, okay. This intruder is about to rob me because they're asking about my alarm and you look comfortable. Yeah, but that's just me. Yeah, I think Jeremy hits it on the nail, like the confused old man trick. Like, I think, yeah, just go back in the portal during that area. That probably is the best thing because it works on so many levels because it triggers one curiosity, it triggers two engagement, and then three empathy. Because like when you act like that confused guy at the gas station, people naturally want to help, right? Like my 5-year-old son, he's fine when he does it. Can you help me please? And it's like, help you with what? It's like
Yeah.
I'm already engaged now. like he doesn't know NPQ, but I'm engaged in okay, what do you need help with? I may not be conscious that I'm going to help him or not, but at least we're in dialogue now. So I think for you, it's just like getting in dialogue, getting them curious enough to want to engage with you. And you have one of the best guys in the world teaching you how to do it, and Jeremy in the portal. I said just follow that and see what comes of it.
All right, no doubt.
Appreciate you, brother. What's going on, Lawrence?
Well, I mean, just figured I'd share something. Well, not really share, but I'm having a call tomorrow with this guy. It was supposed to be today at 3:00, but he ended up having a call that went a little bit longer. And this was the guy that talked to Bill about him a little bit. But I quoted some cargo for him. And it's weekly charter cargo. And told him the price was $275 per trip. And he's wanting well, he asked what my percentage was from that, which I didn't tell him the truth about it. I told him it was between 10 to 15%. But really, our commission on that is 90 grand. And just wanting to see, I guess, the best way tone-wise to navigate through the conversation so that, because he sent me a message yesterday talking about wanting some guidance on some things. And I kind of took it back prior to that, like, yeah, let's, what did I say? I said, Yeah, hopefully we can have a call. Need some clarification around some things that I should have asked in the beginning, which would have determined whether or not what we do would actually work for you. Just to make sure that he understands, like, look, whether you do this or don't do this, I'm not really affected by it.
Yeah.
You know, how much money are you actually losing throughout this process of not, you know,
Wait, this is via text?
this is via text, yes, but we've had phone conversations as well.
Yeah. And read that last message back to me, please.
Morning, hopefully we can have this call today. Need some clarification around some of the things that I should have asked in the beginning, which would have determined whether or not what we do would actually work for you.
And what did he say?
He didn't respond until a couple of days later, and he says, I'm seeking some guidance on some stuff. I'll give you a call on Monday.
Yeah, so for that, that's I'd did you guys have a call set up for Monday specifically scheduled around a specific time?
It was for today at 3. I asked him, I said, what time did you have in mind? I'll make sure to block out time. And when 3 o'clock came, he asked if he could push the call to 11 tomorrow. He's on a call with somebody in the States right now.
No, yeah. Whatchamacallit? When you guys had the call at 3, the thing that popped in my mind is if that call wasn't already pre-planned, because what it sounds like he's trying to do is kind of like you touched on before, trying to put his frame and his authority a little higher than yours, right? Instead of having it even. So like the reason I asked you to read back what you had said, because I liked it. There's one part I would have changed. Because when you told them that, like, so I can move a few things around, like subconsciously what may have happened to him is like you're moving things around on his schedule, right? So now your time is not as valuable as his now. So like one thing that I'd recommend changing would be like, if that happens again, okay, yeah, and what time do you like plan on getting back to me on Monday, just to see if I'd be available for you, right? So now to give you a time, and it's like, oh, okay, 2 to 3, okay, I'm not available at 2. What I could do is move a few things around to be available, to make myself available for 3. Yeah, like, would that help you out? Now, yeah, now basically we lock it in that way so that like it seems very semantic and nuanced, but it's very important because you're keeping him, because it's via text too, you're keeping him like subconsciously reminded that your time is not more valuable than my time. I'm
Exactly.
busy too. So now him pushing that back to 11 is like, because that's like an upstream effect, because he subconsciously, to me, it sounds like he's valuing his time more than yours. I'm still on the call, so I push it back to 11. And it's like, well, at some point we need to stop that train, because like what might happen is he might just keep pushing around because like, yeah, he's dictating the times.
Yeah, we actually, I mentioned what you mentioned before I sent that message about we can have this call today.
Yeah.
I said I may be able to set some time aside in between calls. What time did you have in mind in terms of calling? Because I don't want, I may actually not be available when it is that you actually call me. And
I like that.
Yeah, that's how it was. I said it's the busy season. A lot of people are calling now. They're looking to book cargoes. And so I want to make sure that I can, give you the time when it is that you're looking to call. So that's how that went. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like yeah. So if it's someone like him, you just have to get him back on the phone and then just like reestablish because once they start pushing things off, it's hard to get that back, um, that even playing field because they're just gonna see you as a commodity, keep pushing things around. It's just like, not playing that game with you.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, you're the one that's losing money.
yeah, yeah.
So
Like you're spot on. Like you're not hate. Like you had the solution, right? There's a reason why they're calling you. So hey, listen, if you want to keep losing money, hey, that's something that you have to deal with. Not me.
okay. Any specific way I should go about the conversation when being had?
Yeah, because like I would start by asking him, yeah, since we last spoke, like what's been going on with X, just so I don't just so I don't whatever, right? Just so I don't talk about anything you don't care about. What's been going on with X? Okay, all right, yeah, yeah. And did you ever manage to get that resolved, or is that still going on? Oh, okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, and just only focus on what you actually want to talk about. Um, what did you want to get out of today's conversation? And then we get the objection right there on the table, and then we go. That's just how I personally do it.
Cool. All right,
We
that works.
who else has a golden hand? Ah, funny. I thought it'd be you. What's going on, Joe?
So once a prospect has had a triage and then they're passed over to you, what tonality do you have when you kind of recap the information?
I personally do things a little bit different than most, and I wouldn't recommend it for everyone because you might feel a little cheesy doing it. But for me, it's how I start off every call. Like, what's my triages for me? It's the same thing every single time. Hey, Joe.
Hey,
Yeah, and I know you had a conversation with my colleague Michael a few days ago. He kind of brought me up to speed, but we asked him to keep it light just because sometimes things get lost in translation, and we just appreciate getting straight from the source. So if anything is repetitive, I apologize.
yeah, that's cool.
Okay, and just so and then boom, first question.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense as well.
yeah, like because for me in my mind, what I do is I do an accusation audit. Anybody I read like Chris Voss's Never Split the Difference, you you it triggers empathy in the other person. So if you're late, if you're anything, you probably think I don't care about this meeting and I'm the worst person on earth. And like, nah, it's okay. So same thing. If anything's repetitive, I apologize. Nah, it's okay. All right, sweet. Yeah, and just only focus on what you actually care about. What were you looking to get out of today's conversation? Oh, I want to know this. Oh, okay. First situation question.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Sweet.
because you've already pre-trained, they know that you may be asking a couple of the same questions.
Exactly. But they've told me in themselves, nah, it's okay. So even if I am repetitive, they're like, yeah, nah. Yeah, I told this guy it wasn't the issue. Like, okay, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, like I listen to the triages for that people do for me. So I like listening for certain like language patterns or any like possible red flags. And for me, it's like a cheat sheet. So I get to bring up random things that like be red flags. Like, yeah, and Joel mentioned that you mentioned that you said you always get in your way. What did you mean by that? And now they're like, oh, I meant this. So it's like a cheat code to always steer the conversation because you kind of had a conversation with them beforehand, but you didn't. Somebody else did. And you're just pulling at certain things. What did you mean by you've been in the red the last 3 quarters? Could you give me an example of what you meant when you told Joel that? Oh, I'm losing money, this, and this. Oh, so it just helps me shortcut.
Wow.
Appreciate it.
Once again.
Yeah. Who has a golden hand besides Jude or Joel? 5, 4, 3. Have you, or we do a consequence question like, what would it do to you personally if you didn't raise your hand?
You stay exactly where you are.
Exactly. Megan back with the golden hand.
Yes. So with my pitch, I've cut it down significantly because I felt like I was probably giving like a 7 to 10 minute pitch depending on who I was talking to. It's now down to about 3 minutes, but
Oh, wow.
I feel like my prospects' eyes are getting a little glazed over when I talk. So, which
What do you
is not
mean?
uncommon. What's that?
What do you mean? Like they tune you out?
Yeah, like they're not really paying attention.
Mm.
I think it could be potentially that I'm not engaging them enough during the pitch, but there isn't really a whole lot of room for me to engage because I've cut it so short.
Yeah. Throw in little checking for agreement questions. Like, does that part of the process make sense so far? Okay, yeah. All right.
Okay.
And remember how you said you're looking for more of that that hands-on support and guidance? Yeah. Well, that's exactly why we do X. Because what that means to you is Z in blah blah blah. Did that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah. How do you see that helping you the most though? Right. So it's like just I know with a 3 minute presentation, that's very, very short. It's important to keep them engaged though, because if they do gloss over and they're just tuning you out,
Mhm.
then yeah, that's a potential for like just a bad outcome because when now they're not able to convince themselves. If they tuned you out, they're not able to convince themselves as to why it makes sense to you the solution because they don't remember. So we need them in part of the process.
So relating relating what they said back into the pitch.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was the way that I was saying it too, because I don't even think about it because I've literally had over 250 of these calls and I've said
Do it
it.
to me.
What's that?
Say it to me.
Okay. So there are 4 components to this program. The first is that you have lifetime access to our educational components. So this is going to be dropped to you bi-weekly throughout your time in the program to allow you to not only digest the information that we're giving you, but to take what we're teaching you and apply it in actionable steps to your life. Second component is our weekly coaching call. So you're going to have access to Nicole and our co-coaches. This is your opportunity to ask any and all questions regarding your specific situation. If you're unable to attend for whatever reason, you can either watch the call back and pre-submit your question because we do record all of our calls, or you can hop on, hop off. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to ask your question. Third component, we have a Facebook community. So money is really
Oh wait, no, pause. Yeah. You need I recommend you break that up a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah,
Okay.
because it it needs to feel like, even though the pillars are already pre-structured,
Mhm.
it needs to feel like they're made for them, right?
Okay.
So like one of the first things we do is give you access to our learning platform, right? Where you'll
Mhm.
learn our custom strategy that walks you from A to Z on how to X, Y, Z. Because remember how you said you wanted to A, B, C? Yeah. Well, that's exactly why we D, E, F, right? So that you
Mhm.
can X, Y, Z. Does that part of the process make sense so far?
Okay.
Okay. And remember how you mentioned that you're looking for like you didn't want just a whole bunch of videos, right? You actually wanted that hands-on support.
Mhm.
That's exactly why every XYZ day we hold a live coaching call where you get direct access to XYZ. So that if
Mhm.
you ever have any issues or come up against any obstacles, we're literally right there to support you. Is that fair?
Mhm.
Okay. And how do you see that helping you the most?
Right.
Yeah, but like, do you see how it's almost the same thing? It's just I'm keeping them inside the same process.
Right. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, including them, making it like a conversation as opposed to me telling them exactly what we're gonna do for them.
Exactly, because
Okay.
when you also hit them with the because remember how you said you wanted X, you're
Mhm.
reminding them and they're reminding themselves like, yeah, shit, I did want that.
Yeah.
And then when you ask them, how do you see that helping you the most? They have to now think of an answer and say it, but make it
Right.
real. Okay.
Right.
And yeah, you know how you said you wanted ABC?
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly why we DEF. And because what that means to you is blank, 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 blank.
Mhm.
And then does that whole process and structure make sense? Yes. And does that feel like it could be what you're looking for? Yeah. Why? And now they're doubling down and now defending why it makes sense. And then from there, it's pretty much home, 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 home smooth,
Okay.
like home sailing.
Okay. Sounds good.
Sweet. One last golden hand, or do we break early for the day? 5, 4. Ah, there we go. Andrew with the golden save.
Yo, so I don't know if this is much of a tonality question, but so I'm kind of new to NEPQ, and I'm just wondering, like, how important do you feel it is to kind of like memorize your script or the framework? I guess because I kind of feel like on some of my calls, I'm maybe too focused on the script to the point where I'm maybe not hearing certain things a prospect is saying
Yeah,
because I'm just too focused on like where I should be going next.
yeah.
So I guess I don't know if you've got any thoughts there.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's very important to memorize the structure
Mhm.
back and forth, right? And when you say new, how new would you say?
Like 2 weeks.
Oh, okay, yeah, give yourself grace, right? Give
Okay.
yourself grace, yeah. But yeah, yeah, download the flashcards, uh, like really learn the structures and the sequence because you're spot on. A lot of people, they're not actively listening because they're actively thinking. And I want to say next. So you miss what the prospect says because you're like, okay, I'm waiting for them to say this. And they give you all this gold information, but you're like, all right, next part. And it's like
For sure, for sure.
you need to get out of that. But give yourself time, right? Just I recommend learning NPQ in like phases. So the connecting phase, I memorized that. All right, cool. I talk to random people or my friends using the connecting questions, and then go on to situation, do the same thing, on to problem, do the same thing, solution, consequence, presentation, transition, presentation, commitment, and then the whole thing until you're like, oh, okay, I know where I'm going, back and front.
Awesome. That makes sense. I appreciate that, Rod.
No issues. You guys are rock stars. Wishing you a happy, healthy, and fat commissionly, if that's even a word, new year. Go out there and crush it, y'all.
Bye, thank you.
You're welcome. Peace.